Mark Zuckerberg, who I think is currently banned from Twitter right now, Mark Zuckerberg over on Facebook had a post about... He had a post about something. No, Mark Zuckerberg was like, yeah, we want to support creators on Facebook. We want to be able to, pursue full-time income. We want to be able to do this. We want to be able to do that. Yeah. Uh-huh. So no sub splits until 2023. I'm skeptical of that. Especially given where Facebook is in the quarterlies. Out of the three platforms, it is the smallest. And it's well on its way to becoming another mixer. If you can get streamers to come over to your platform, you need to support them with an audience. Supporting creators by getting rid of the revenue split and letting the creators keep all the revenue from things like subscription services is not the same as letting them have an audience in the first place. And I suppose while we're at it, we can actually link the browser back up. Will it link automatically? No. Security stuff. Whatever. Properties, link it up. Maybe I should just bring it back in. So here's what being a big streamer looks like on Facebook. Here's what being a big streamer looks like on Facebook. I snapped a picture of this earlier while I was poking around on Facebook, and let's get a pointer on here. So you have a Warzone stream. This is English. So Facebook is popular around the world in lots of different languages, but on the English side of things, at least, here's a big streamer. This Stone Mountain guy playing Warzone. $8,000. Once you hit four-digit concurrence, a lot of people are playing GTA. Once you hit four-digit concurrence, you're a big streamer on Facebook. So it's not like, say, the people with 5 or 6-digit concurrence over on Twitch, as well as the 5-digit concurrence you can see on YouTube. But I think the numbers really tell the story when it comes to this Facebook thing. So yeah, they can try and get people to become Facebook streamers, but let's link to Excel. Here's the Streamlabs Quarterlies Cruncher, and here's the audience growth via hours watched over time. Here's Mixer, the dotted line at the bottom. Ubook, the green line, is a combination of YouTube and Facebook because there's no stuffy exclusivity like there is with Twitch. So you technically get involved on both platforms or double stream or something along those lines. But Facebook's the blue bar. And they're the smallest. And because they're the smallest, because Twitch is still in the mix here, you don't really see, it's not really as pronounced as much, that the best quarter ever for Facebook streaming was only a little bit better in terms of hours watched than 2 quarters like Q3 2020 before this dip. Look at the numbers. 1041, 901, 1057. Wow. From 1041 to 1057. While YouTube, 1675, YouTube declined, of course, so there's a bit of an issue going on with how streaming fits in with the grand scheme of things on YouTube when YouTube is so powerful at videos and so great at videos and evergreen stuff, and now they're expanding into TikTok's part of the woods with YouTube Shorts. So I wouldn't be surprised if streaming on YouTube was de-emphasized a little more. There will be streamers on YouTube, but it's just streaming on YouTube is competing so much with everything else that YouTube is good at. And the Twitch, on the other hand, is the polar opposite. They're like the Blockbuster Video of online media. They found one thing that works, and they are going to ride that horse till it drops, even as the competition takes things in a different direction. So, live streaming, woo, chat, Pepe laugh, tea time, emotes, memes, the stuff like that. They're even trying to catch up a bit to Franker Face and Better TTV by rolling out animated emotes. And then, follower emotes. Now people want there to be a raid emote. So, even if you're not a subscriber of a channel, you can spam the raid emote when you raid another stream. So, but yeah, Twitch has streaming down pat. Problem is, streaming has weaknesses. Lots of weaknesses. So you can cheer on your favorite streamers, but don't expect to be like them anytime soon. The numbers just don't add up. And this is why I have, for example, Twitch versus YouTube. YouTube tends to have very good... Let's go to the audience ratio here. Watch stream ratios. Here's the big one that I'm keeping an eye on. This is hours watched versus hours streamed. So for every hour streamed, what do we have for hours watched? So there was a bit of a dip on pretty much all the platforms except Twitch. What was Twitch? 23.5. Twitch went up a tiny amount from 23.585 to 23.922, but they're traditionally in the worst shape because there's too many people that don't want to, there's too many people that want to be streamers, but there's too many people that want to be streamers relative to everybody on the platform. So YouTube did well at the end of 2020, but things dipped in Q1 2021. We'll have to see how things improve as the year progresses, but this is the ratio here. So you figure, I had my best numbers towards the end of 2020 and things have dropped off on here as well. So in a sense, even my own concurrents on YouTube have matched this dip, because there's a situation where these platforms have to keep an eye on how many people are actually watching the people they attract to the platform. Let's go back to audience growth. So here's audience growth, here's creator-based growth, which is hours streamed. You see, even Mixer can get, before it was discontinued, actually, Mixer had a larger creator base than both of these platforms in the first half of 2020 in terms of hours streamed. There's plenty of streaming going on, but who was watching? Yeah, So that's why I keep an eye on this. But you notice Twitch, in particular, the strong brand that people associate with streaming so much, is just up, 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 and away. And that's why I have things like this. What exactly would Twitch need to do in order to match whatever YouTube is currently doing? Do I have one with Twitch versus Facebook? Not yet. I could probably add that in. But the thing with this whole Facebook no subsplit thing is that if you go back to size of the audience, which is fundamentally what you want to shoot for, you want people watching your platform. You don't want a situation where there's too many people broadcasting, not enough people watching. Because, that disheartens people all over the place when the numbers never move. My Mixer experience was like that last year. And the numbers reflect why it was that way. And don't forget, this green one it's not really a platform, it's an amalgamation of these two. But, so here's Facebook, the smallest of the three. And they kind of petered out. They kind of petered out in 2020. And I looked at the UI for Facebook. And the UI has changed. Just be Facebook Gaming, FBGG, was going in a somewhat different direction than the gaming tab inside Facebook on web browsers. Might be different on mobile, I don't know. But now it's basically just a section on Facebook. The big issue I'm running into is it's doable. I can find stuff to watch. The UI is fine in a sense, but it's kind of, it's kind of thumb sideways in terms of its design. I found that just simply trying to find out who the most popular streamers were on Facebook was taking way too many clicks. One of the classic problems at web design. If things are too complicated, people don't do that. It's one of the reasons why YouTube has algorithms in the first place, because one of the biggest things that YouTube wanted to avoid with all their automated systems was the problem that eventually popped up. Basically, internet was turning into cable TV again. If you ever knew a channel flipper, flip, 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 flip. You have all these channels, but you're sitting there with your jaw half open, dozing off in your chair, trying to find something to watch on TV, and you just can't find anything to watch. Then you just doze off and drop the remote. So, oh man, slower nowadays with digital cable and some of the communication involved. But in the analog days, remember the 90s when it was like a split second of fuzz. Every time you change the channel, that's getting blocked, isn't it? Yeah, okay. Okay, I'm watching the levels here. The noise filter sometimes blocks out like wind noise, like like that. That's a great example of that. But so yeah, YouTube actually pursued the algorithm stuff that it's infamous for nowadays. So that way the system gives you something to watch that you're going to like, hopefully, and you spend more time watching and less time trying to find something to watch. So then the system can recommend stuff. The problem I have with YouTube getting as algorithmic as it is that it really leaves people think that, oh, there's discoverability on YouTube if you line up with how the algorithm recommends your stuff to people. And if you can get the system to introduce you to people by making it fit a certain cookie cutter style or niche. I tell you, the age of the pastiche is alive and well on YouTube right now because of this. you think about that thing, for example, in the Creator Insider videos, focus on your audience and the algorithm will follow. So in other words, try and get people to watch your videos, and then the algorithm will recommend more of them. But you got to bridge that initial gap first. But here's something else with that. Another big thing I've heard in the Creator Insider videos is the algorithms find videos for viewers, not viewers for videos. So it leaves a very important question unanswered as to how you get recommended in the first place if you're not able to corner search results or something like that. Bottom line is, how can you be a YouTuber without playing the algorithm game? Because people who don't want to play the game want to just express themselves and find like-minded people who like what it is that they do, even if they do stuff that's niche and they end up with an audience that reflects that. But it's no fun to feel like some big computer eye in the sky is constantly standing between you and your ability to get any views. So, anyways, Facebook. It's interesting that Facebook has this no subsplit thing. Here's the problem, though. Watch stream ratio. Here's Facebook. They were up there in Q3 2020. They were up there with YouTube. Actually, they were a little better than YouTube. Facebook 136 versus YouTube's 134. So then they advertised all over the place, and this tanked. Why? More streamers, but not enough people in the audience in terms of hours watched in order to keep up with the growth. So they're heading towards Twitch territory, except audience growth much smaller in terms of hours watched. No. Wait a minute. Creator base. We're talking about what's available to watch. So hours streamed. Here's Twitch. Here's Facebook. Do I have my pointer? Yes, I do. Here's Twitch. Here's Facebook. So now here's the problem. You entice a lot of streamers to change platforms. Yeah, I'm not growing on Twitch. I'm going to Facebook. They don't even have a subsplit there, but Twitch's subsplit is 50-50. Oh my goodness. And actually, another part of the Mark Zuckerberg post is they talked about trying to do better than 70-30 whenever they did have a sub-split in there, which means that they're not going to chase after YouTube as much as they're going to chase after Patreon, and I think OnlyFans might be lower as well. There was a sub-split comparison chart. Patreon, I don't know how they make any money, but you know, Patreon actually isn't probably the best in the industry. Well, they have to, I think, otherwise they there's really no point in funding stuff that way. At least in terms of online media, with all the systems that are involved, that are included in the platforms these days that you can make use of. But yeah, our stream, blah blah blah. Watch stream. What am I saying that for? Watch stream ratios crash going into Q4 of 2020. So 54 last go round, still better than Twitch. But here's the thing. What do you think enticing a lot of streamers to change platforms without bringing over an audience that will watch these streamers without joining them? What do you think that's going to do? The same thing that happened with Mixer. Look, they were able to get streamers. They signed Ninja. They signed Shroud. Blah blah blah. They had all these monopoly. They have these exclusivity deals that they signed. Landed in the news. People were like, look, Mixer's gonna shine. Where was the audience? Crash. 2, 3, 5, 8, 10. Best quarter was first quarter of 2019. 8, 2, 2, 2, 2 something. 4 quarters in a row until the platform shut down. So no. If you bring over streamers, you want there to be an audience for them. Otherwise, they get to watch their stream go nowhere on a platform that is this size instead of this size in terms of what's available to watch. 264.9 versus 19.5. A tenth the size, roughly. More so, less than that, actually. There you go. So, yeah, okay. No sub-split. Yeah, attract over a bunch of creators. Who's going to watch them?